Could we encourage the Congress to spend its pork barrel on education only?
Pork barrel will be limited to national priority programs. And of course, one of them will be school building programs.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Senator, there are a couple of questions that deal with governance issues, particularly corruption, and I'd like to read them, and maybe you can answer them as a whole. First, how will you handle the Lucio Tan cases of tax evasion and the Marcos wealth? Second, you talk about how different you will be from the present administration. What exactly will you do to make GMA, FG, and all pay for their crimes? What will you do with the tongue of all congressmen, and so forth? And then there's another one that has to do with encouraging whistleblowers. So maybe your strategy towards dealing with corruption.
Can I start with dealing? How do I deal with whistleblowers? You know that it's a sad fact. I learned this about close to 3 decades ago. If you catch somebody smuggling, you're supposed to be entitled at that point in time, at least, to a reward of 20% when you give information, catch smugglers. Okay. If you facilitate smuggling, I was told by my informants, you get a 10% fee. So I asked this person, why will you participate in something illegal to get 10% when you can go legal? And point the authorities towards the commission described and get a double reward. And the simple answer was, the 10% is kaliwan, I get it right away. The 20% I will get when I retire, and probably 5 years after that. And the explanation is you go through so many processes, seizing the goods, for instance, if it's smuggling, the appeals process, auction, etc. I don't think it should be that difficult point for government to advance these reward systems, to make it an effective reward system. Okay, point one. Point number two, as I keep saying, the judicial reform is so essential. We cannot have a situation where a criminal is not deterred from committing a crime, basically because even if he gets to trial, he doesn't even have a 1 in 5 chance of being convicted. It seems you're the most unlucky, I have to catch my tongue, but the most unlucky individual to be convicted in this country. Okay. Now we have so many leads with regards to the first family. Statements of assets and liabilities are there. There are dramatic changes in statements in the statements of various members, and obviously there are various provisions already within our laws. Unexplained wealth is presumed to be ill-gotten, and in that situation, they are tasked to answer for that. But at the same time, my father was a very, one of my father's most important advocacies was human rights. And therefore, I will ensure that their rights are also protected. Because again, from my father, your ability, the true test of a democracy is not your ability to defend the rights of your friends, but more importantly, those of your enemies. Because if you allow one group to be oppressed, you are setting up the situation for your group to be oppressed at some point in time. Okay. So they will be afforded all of their rights. They will be given all of the opportunities to answer their charges, and like any other citizen, they will be presumed to be innocent until proven guilty. Now, with regards to the Marcos and Lucio Tan cases, so these are sub judice, I will be entering the situation, at the 2nd or 3rd decade of litigation. One would hope that there is closure to all, even those issues, that, when you go to this country, you can expect adjudication of cases to happen in a timely manner. One of the sad facts, and that's why judicial reform, again, our stick has to be improved, is that on average, we understand it takes 6 years to adjudicate a case. Again, it leads to a condition where it behooves everybody not to follow the laws. And that has to stop.
2 quick questions, Mr. Senator. The heart of the Cory Constitution is social justice. The phrase is not anywhere in your platform as advertised. What are the specifics of your social justice program? Unrelated to that is a question of what will you do if on June 30, 2010, we do not have a president or vice president, and Vice President who can be proclaimed, and we wake up on July 1, 2010, and GMA is still the ruler of this country in one form or another.
I take exception to the fact that social justice is not the platform. It is actually embodied in practically all of the 16 points of the platform that we have published in the site. For instance, we want to have the provision of opportunities for everybody to improve themselves. That's why job generation is first in the list of priorities. What does that mean? I think a father once put it best. Provide me the job, I'll take care of my children's education and health. Education is the second factor. Again, empowerment, again, opportunities. If you are not educated enough, there are, what jobs actually what skills do you have, and what jobs can you acquire? Therefore, to have meaningful job generation, the educational support should be there, hence our drive for the 12-year program and even the inclusion of a nursery stage prior to the formal education program. The ecology, the platform on ecology is very, very simple. We want to translate it so that there's no confusion amongst anybody. If there are no forests, there are no watersheds, no water, no food, no people. Okay. Are you aware that we have an 8% remaining primary forest cover? But what is more criminal is up to today, we have not delineated the forestry lines. So when you talk about preserving forests, when you don't even define what the forest is, obviously we are not preserving anything, and that is there also. I'm sorry, I'm missing the other portion of the question.
The second question was, what will you do if on June 30 we do not have a president and somebody is...
Number one, the laws on succession are very clear. But can I just tell you, instead of telling you and all of you our plans, people... Let's not be naive. There are talks that certain quarters want to exploit that situation. There are talks of failure of elections or non-proclamation, no L, and so on and so forth. Now, does it behoove me to reveal publicly the plans that we are contemplating at this point in time and to make our job of preserving this democracy harder by telling our enemies what precisely we will do? I think I will leave my plans close-guarded at this point in time. Let me assure you, we are not babes in the woods, and we are ready as much as possible, and we are getting all the necessary info, intelligence, and alliances in place to forestall in the grabbing of power by people with purely vested self-interest. And can I just add, I'm sorry, this has to be really laid into the minds of everybody. We in the Liberal Party say we are espousing platform-based, issue-based politics. And I'm very, very confident that this is not, even if I were not in the scene, this occupation is fraught with dangers. I have in the person of my partner Marojas somebody who is exactly of like mind, somebody who will pick up if I am unable to finish the job. Now, therefore, we can assure everybody that join us, there is a continuity of expectations that are realistic. This is not person-based.